So hello dear students, today we will study about diffraction of X-rays by crystal. So when an atom is exposed to monochromatic beam of X-rays, when an X-rays are incident on an atom, then what happens? The electric field component in the radiation interacts with atomic electrons. Atom consists of an electron revolving around its nucleus, and the electric field, it interacts with those atomic electrons and transfer its energy to the atomic electrons, and due to this the electrons starts harmonic oscillations. Of the frequency equal to frequency of incident radiation. So these vibrations are synchronized vibrations. Frequency of the vibrations of the atomic electrons is equal to frequency of the incident beam, and vibratory electrons are accelerating in nature, and as we know, accelerated charge emits its own radiations. So these atomic electrons being in accelerated motion emits radiations. This phenomena is called Bremsstrahlung, and these are of same frequency. Of incident beam. So in this way we say atomic electrons, they act as reflectors of the X-rays. But these emitted radiations are generally out of phase. So when they travel in the medium or in the space, they may go constructive or destructive interference, produces maxima or minima depending upon the condition satisfied for the constructive or destructive interference. We get maxima or minima in certain directions. So this is the basic of crystal diffraction. So continuing the study, Bragg studied this diffraction of X-rays by a crystal in detail, and he proposed a law called Bragg's law. This is a very, very important law, and he assumed a family of parallel crystal planes. He assumed the family of parallel crystal planes. So this is a family of parallel crystal planes which are at a distance of small d from each other. So family of parallel crystal planes he dealt with having Miller indices because parallel crystal planes are defined with the Miller indices HKL and are separated by distance small d. So now we have various lattice sites and atoms are there. And they are arranged in a well-defined pattern. Out of these various sites, we will select two sites A and B. And a family of parallel beam of X-rays is incident at a glancing angle theta. Parallel beam of X-rays, one at site A another at site B at a glancing angle theta. This is X-ray. It is incident on crystal structure of wavelength lambda. And when it strikes with the atom, the atomic electrons, as we stated just now, they start vibrating about their mean positions and they emit the radiations of the same wavelength. And the emitted radiations, they move in this direction. At an angle theta again. So in simple words, we can say that the X-rays are reflected by the crystal structure. If we represent the incident directions as PA and QB respectively, PA is reflected along AR and QB is reflected along BS. So now the reflected rays or rays emitted by vibrating electrons AR and BS, they travel in the same direction, so they will undergo interference and will produce interference maxima and minima depending upon the condition satisfied for constructive interference as well as destructive interference. So we here draw two perpendiculars, one perpendicular here at AC, second perpendicular here AD. We draw two perpendiculars on QB and BS respectively. So draw AC and AD perpendiculars on QB and BS respectively. So we have two reflected rays. The two reflected rays AR and BS. So we have two reflected rays AR and BS. They have a path difference of which is equal to CB plus BD. So this is the path difference between the two rays. So applying condition of constructive interference, according to condition of constructive interference, path difference, it should be equal to integral multiple of lambda. So CB plus BD, this is the path difference, so it is equal to n lambda. So this is our required condition for constructive interference. So now we come to the equation. This angle is theta, this angle is also theta. So from triangle ACB, sin theta, it is equal to perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Perpendicular is BC upon AC, BC upon AB, which is BC upon D. So BC is equal to D sin theta. Similarly, BD, it is also equal to D sin theta. So if we substitute here, we will get D sin theta plus D sin theta, it is equal to n lambda. So 2D sin theta is equal to n lambda. This equation is known as Bragg's law. This equation is known as Bragg's law, and here n is equal to 1, 2, 3 and 4 respectively for first order, second order and third order. Maxima respectively. As sin theta, it varies between -1 and +1. So if we substitute this value in the equation here, then we will get lambda, it will be less than or equal to 2d. So for the diffraction to take place, the wavelength should be of the order of spacing between the parallel planes in a crystal structure. So this is the main condition. So various features of Bragg's law are: number one, Bragg's law is a consequence of periodicity of the space lattice. Number two, it does not tell us about anything about the arrangement of atoms in a crystal. The main condition is lambda should be less than equal to 2d. So wavelength should be of the order of spacing between the parallel planes. That is why we cannot use visible light for diffraction in crystals. Because wavelength of visible light is much larger as compared to spacing between the parallel planes. For same value of n, that is for a particular order of diffraction, theta decreases, then lambda also decreases. So you can see this mathematically from this equation. They are directly proportional, sine theta and lambda. So as lambda decreases, theta also decreases. So this is all for today. Keep in touch for next lectures. Thanks a lot.